Welcome to W.I.L.D with JR, a podcast designed to help motivate others to grow by integrating practical skills, leadership principles, and teaching elements of the wilderness into our everyday lives. Now, for your host, Junior Humphrey.
What's up, everybody? Here we are once again, W.I.L.D with JR. Thank you so much for joining. If you don't already, please follow us. Please subscribe to the podcast and keep up with us. We're going to dive right back into picking up on part 2 of where we left off last week, and part 2 of just catching you back up to date with us. And the heart behind that is just kind of filling in the blanks where we've been off of the podcast and why we've been off for so long. And like we mentioned last week's podcast, go back and take a listen. There's a lot to fill in the blanks, and I kind of rambled a little bit, but there's a method behind the madness, just catching you guys up. So we picked up on a previous podcast, and we talked about our transition to Alabama, and then we talked about back to Georgia. And then last week, we got you set up back here in Georgia, and that's really where we're going to pick up this week, but this week is going to be kind of like a combo. So we're going to pick right back up in Georgia, get you up to present day, and then go into a little bit of W.I.L.D and how W.I.L.D has evolved a little bit and the dream behind that, and that will set us up for our content moving forward. But before we do, I do want to take a quick moment and thank our sponsors. Hey everybody, just want to take a quick moment and give a shout out to our sponsor for this podcast, Anchor by Spotify. This is the easiest way to make podcasts because it has everything you need all in one place. So listen up, I'm going to explain it because this is currently what we use. If you have not heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to record your podcast because it has everything you need that allows you to edit and record right from your computer, or even better, from your phone. When you're out on the go, meeting new people, it's really awesome. And when you're hosting your podcast on Anchor, you can actually distribute it on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and many other places. And it's really cool to have everything all there. And the best part of all of it is that it's absolutely free. So head on over to anchor.fm, that's ANCHOR.FM, to get started with your new podcast today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for listening to that. We are looking at getting some more sponsors as well, but right now Anchor is sponsoring this podcast, so it's pretty cool. But here we are. So we are now back in Georgia. Won't fill in all the blanks of everything else. Just go back and listen to that previous podcast. But now we're back in Georgia and we're picking up. Some things have happened since we moved back. We started totally new job changes that, for one, I've never been in the industry. Started working for a landscape company. My wife, she picked up and went kind of back into where she had worked before, and that's working with kids at like a preschool. And so my job picked up right when I moved back, but hers took a little bit. This is kind of fast forwarded, like last week's was fast forwarded, so I'm just going to catch you up real fast with this. And then just through this landscape company, learned a lot of cool things. Man, I have pounded away in some computer software, so I got to dive into that a little bit. Learned a lot of new and good leadership skills, business skills, communication skills, listening skills, just all kind of stuff that is going to be beneficial to this podcast. And like we said, upon moving back, we got new life, new beginnings back here. Reconnected with a lot of old friends, and that's been good. And then have been able to meet a lot of family needs with our immediate family, our household, my wife, my daughter, and myself. And then our families, my wife's side of the family, my side of the family. We're able to help some areas that need help, like... For instance, after losing my grandfather, my grandmother's a widow, and just things like that, and just filling in and helping wherever we can, and trying to be the best light to everyone around us. So some more cool things that are happening for us. My wife really loves her job, and cool thing is Hazel gets to go to school with where mommy works, so that's really cool. Um, I have I was at the landscape company for going on a year. Yeah, it was a year and a couple months, and the door opened up for me to take a position to get my EMT. So that's what I'm currently doing. I'm working at a hospital, going through my EMT course, and that is we're just starting on this, so got a lot to learn, and there's been an overload of information, but that's going to play out and help in the future and very beneficial. But it's an awesome career change, awesome lifestyle change, and God opened up so many doors through that, and just the divine timing and the way things laid out is cool, and it always has been that way. You guys have heard from us, and it's really cool to see that continue to play out. But that is a fast forward on us. I was able to get rid of my old beater car and get me a newer truck. So to me, it's new. It's a 2017, but got my dream truck. So a lot of cool things are happening. Eventually, I want to get my wife in either her dream vehicle or a different vehicle. Depends on which one she wants. But that'll come with time. We're going to figure all those things out. But hey, so we have got you caught up, fast-tracked, and I'm excited to get to this point. We are back in Georgia. We are found us a good church to plug into. We have friends and family we're surrounded with. We are being able to invest in siblings and cousins and things like that. And man, it feels good. It's a breath of fresh air. There has been stresses. There has been life things. And, 2023, coming out of 2022, there's a lot of fluctuations in finances and everything. That's just a given for everybody. So as we move forward, I'm going to be optimistic because a lot of doors are continuing to open. So got you guys caught up. That was short, and I'm excited about this. But this is part 2, and getting you caught up on our transition was the first objective. Now, getting you caught up to date on W.I.L.D and the heartbeat behind W.I.L.D. So, as you guys know, my family's been extremely supportive of this, and this has been a vision for many, many years, a dream as well, and it is slowly turning into something, and has over the past couple years, really the last 5 years, I would say, it has grown into more of a tangible vision. With that being said, we are currently in the beginning stages of W.I.L.D as a business, as a company, as a network. That's what we're going to call it. We're calling it a training network, and there'll be several branches, several different things going on, but I want to fill you in on a little bit about what we got going on. So it is going to be a training network. As you know, W.I.L.D is Wilderness Integrated Leadership Development. So there's a heavy focus on leadership in all aspects of, if this is the right way to say it, indoor, outdoor, business, leadership, adventure, you name it. There's components of it everywhere. We're going to be heavy on the outdoor portion. Like there will be a lot of survival classes, wilderness medical classes, but there'll also be other classes like practical ingenuity. I'm not going to get into everything because it's all on the website. We have a website currently set up that we are still building, so nothing is absolute right now because it is a dream. It may be fully operational at the end of this year, or it may take another 4 or 5 years, but that's okay. We're trusting the process and sticking true to the vision. We still have a lot of legal things to do. We have some medical director. That's really cool. We had someone that was willing to sign off as our medical director, and they've reviewed our current certifications and those things. And but we got to have some more official meetings with them and get some more licensure and some more credentials and stuff like that. So, but there are some things that we are starting to offer right away, just as a little kind of get ourselves out there and get it off the ground. First and foremost, this podcast is helping bridge that gap between our listeners, our followers, into what W.I.L.D is currently And then we have some small things on the side right now that we're offering, like itinerary and trip planning. That is something that we could definitely help you with. And if you want more information on that, just reach out to us. But going into W.I.L.D and kind of navigating a little bit, mentioned last week, if you were looking to support us, that is great and incredible. I'm not going to beg for it, but I will say there is opportunity there. On our website, there's a place where you can go and just donate at will. There's a place that you can sign up to be a financial founding member. That's what we're calling them. So with that, you'll get a certificate, you'll get a patch, and you'll get a lot of perks, and they're on that page. When you sign up to become a financial founding member, that is going to close the end of this year. So you have until this year to make a small donation, and that locks you in for that. And that is your initial first investment. And that tells us that you want to be a part, and that you want to be a part of that. There will be exclusive meetings, exclusive podcasts, different things like that. You'll have some decision-making rights. You'll get discounts. There's all kind of stuff. Go on the page and check it out. It's on our website. The website, I'm telling you about it, I hadn't even mentioned it. It's wildernessild.net. wildernessild.net. Go check it out. But that's one of the ways you can support us. If you have Spotify, if that's where you're listening to this podcast from, there's a link on there you can donate. You can go to our Instagram at W.I.L.D, click on the link. It pulls up our link tree. I think that's how you say it. And then it has a place down at the bottom of there to donate. So we would appreciate it, and we would love your donation, because everything right now financially that's put towards this is going 100% back into this, to gather gear, class material, to print content, to marketing, those kind of things to help us start. We're not looking to be rich off of this. Our main goal is to add value and invest in other people, in hopes that one day it will grow to something that we can manage full time. But right now it is just an extra component to add value to people, and we're excited about it. So with that being said, I talked about a team. We currently have 6 co-founders. I'm the original founding member, CEO per se of it, but I have 5 other co-founders. These are people that I trust and people that I know will invest into you properly, and that I could 100% turn away and hand over the reins to, and I'd be okay with it running the way it needs to. But these are also collective skills, collective minds. These are from different avenues in life, different ages, different skill sets, different mindsets, different journeys, different stories. And what's really cool is there's going to be bios coming out about all of our staff members. We're going to try to get each and every one of them on here. Some of them are a little more high demand in their everyday life, so it'll be harder to get them on here. We have some more people that I hope to bring on to the team, and definitely more people that we're going to have on the podcast that you'll get to hear from. So that's really cool. And then moving forward, that team that'll be how we make our decisions, is as a team. This is definitely a personal passion and vision, but it is now a shared and joined passion and vision. And I'm excited for all the background, the phone calls we have, the Zoom meetings we've been having, just all the Discord, I think is the other platform we're using. We're just getting on there and chewing on ideas, and we have just content after content and just ideas of what we think is cool. That the hard part is it's like we have 1,000 straws and we can only pick 5 for each category, or each department, or each curriculum. And man, it's a lot, and it is really cool to see where it's going. Our hopes is to be able to travel with this. And just a little bit of the vision, it is not going to just be teaching and training. We are going to have a section of this W.I.L.D that is deployable, and it will be like a disaster relief and search and rescue type unit. And it will have we'll have officers just like any other division of emergency management. We'll have trained personnel medically, communication-wise. We'll have gear. We'll have resources, communications, those kind of things. We will also have areas where we'll do like set medics or event medics, like a race or concert, those type things. We'll have those services available. And we're trying locally. One benefit is we're trying to grow a chain of networks. So it's going to be us. We're going to be the root and the anchor, but our vision is to have a network of people, and hopefully to grow worldwide, that we could say, hey, here's resources. These are people we trust. These are like-minded people, and these are what we're going to offer. And you're over in, I don't know, Tennessee. Well, this is someone that's part of our network. This is a sister, brother, family company of ours that we trust, and they're in our network. We're going to put you in contact with them. Or if you would rather have the W.I.L.D personnel per se themselves, then we will be there as well. Again, a ton of vision. Speaking back into the leadership side of it, there will be a ton of leadership opportunities, whether that is guide training someone to be a lead guide, even if you wanted to do that full-time in your life, or if you wanted to work with a team, kind of like the company that I worked for previously. Just that guide training and the crucial parts to that, the legal side, the relational side, the really just leadership side of it is the most cliche way of putting it. But there will be business leadership too, from high level to followers, from just being your field people, and we'll be able to go in and help train each area of the company and say, hey, this is what it looks like from consumer, and this is what it looks like from the seller, as far as maybe the executive team to the field team, and what it looks like from the field team to the executive team. Been very blessed to personally have had experience looking at all of these realms of leadership, and the people that I've surrounded myself with and other influences. Also, they have a ton of leadership knowledge. There's several business leaders that are involved in our family chain, and it would be really cool to have them on here, and they're going to be on here talking and different topics, things like that. And another vision is like team building for companies or businesses, those kind of things. But like, think of your survival skills. There's a ton of survival classes out there, and we want to offer some as well. And we're going to help promote that within the community, not just the wilderness survival, like chopping trees and building fires, but the mental and emotional survival skills, and really being in tune with just the practicality of you and how to use your everyday life and kind of integrate all that in. And I'm rambling and bouncing around, but I'm just sharing vision with you right now. Just sharing vision and casting vision. There'll be other components of it. We want to do some curriculum that we hope will be kind of universal, I don't know if that's the best word, but it will be easily adaptable to whoever. And we want to offer that as a service too. There's services that we want to help with accountability. One big need of being in the wilderness realm is seeing, from both aspects, being an adventurer and being someone on a rescue team, and in the medical side of it, there's a lot that goes into when someone gets injured or hurt or lost. So we've been very blessed to come up with a way of bridging that gap, and we're going to talk about that later, because that's going to go into detail, and that ties in with another life lesson of just being prepared. but there's a cool bridge that we are working on constructing that's going to help close that gap between adventurers and the proper people if there was an injury or something devastating to happen. And it's going to be a vital component, and we hope moving forward that others will take it and use it. And if nothing else, it'll just be a service that we offer. So there's a ton of vision with it. Going into our staff, I'm very thankful for the people that have come along and partnered beside me on this journey and this vision. And I'm excited for you guys to hear from them and hear their personal stories and just hear how life has impacted them and how they have taken what they've learned in life and made a great life, and how they're going to take that and use it to invest in you. I'm really excited for you to even hear from some of our other investors and founding members of why they chose to support, even though they're not initially involved or involved in the everyday or in the mix, but why they chose to support and what drives them. And maybe that's an encouragement to you, if not to support us, but to support someone that you believe in like they believe in us. And then that's kind of, I know this was a short and fast-paced podcast, but so we've gotten you caught up from a couple years ago where we left off all the way back to Georgia here and shared some vision with you on W.I.L.D. So that's kind of where we are with it, and kind of going to be bringing this to an end here soon. And but with that, stay with us. The website is still being built. So there'll be a lot of things changing on that. The Instagram and the social media is still being built and utilized. Feel free to share all the content with each other, and just know there's services that are booked, there's services that are not available, there's services that you'll see that are coming soon. And if there's a service and there's no available date for a service you're looking for that we currently have open, just email us or reach out to us, direct message. There's a little chat bot on there as well. And if you go on the website and you click the chat on there, it comes to us and we'll reply as soon as we can, and we'll get you the information you're looking for. But please feel free to reach out. I encourage you to continue to dive in and listen to us on this podcast, and I'm hoping that you're getting something from it. Like I said, please forgive the catch up. I just wanted you to know where we are in life and see the vision. So starting next week, we're going to go back to topical podcasts for a little while. There will be some that will be maybe a couple of episodes long. There may be some that aren't. For the most part, it's going to be just like it was before. Now, we are looking into also doing for people who want to support the podcast, we're looking at the idea of exclusive content. Say, for instance, if we have a podcast that's a lesson and it goes into depth on something, then one of the exclusive contents will be, hey, here's an extension of this podcast. Go check it out. And that'll be for like a monthly subscription. Monthly supporter per se, and but there also may be other exclusive content of like, hey, you're going to be the first one to hear about this before we release it to the public, and it may be something we release to the supporters, I don't know, a couple months before it ever happens, or you'll be first dibs on some of the perks that are in the financial supporter. So you can be a financial founding member and not be a monthly supporter. There's a difference there. The financial founding member of W.I.L.D, that's a one-time donation to say, hey, I'm locked in as a lifetime supporter. And that certificate that you'll receive is our way of saying thank you and that we recognize you as a supporter. And you'll get recognition as well from us. The monthly supporter that we're dreaming up will be to help sustain the future processes that W.I.L.D is going to be going through and things that we're going to be offering, but that content will also just be another way of saying thank you. It may be gear reviews. It may be, I our personal thoughts on a certain topic that we might want to adventure in a little bit more. But those are just things we're dreaming up. And that gets us back to our stage. So here we are on the stage of W.I.L.D, on this platform that we've been blessed to use to reach out to you guys and invest in you. And I just want to personally say, again, I always say this, but thank you for your support up until this point. And thank you for these past 2 weeks of just getting through the grind and the cringiness of just being raw and just us. And thank you for that. Oh, by the way, there are questions on the Spotify side of the podcast. There's questions that you can go and answer and kind of interact with and keep up with and see where other people are commenting. And there's a little question from last week's podcast. It's on episode 7. Go check it out and see if you can find the little nugget that I mentioned in the question. I'm curious if anybody can spot it. Because I definitely recognized it after playback, but I didn't want to record the whole podcast over just to make that correction, and I knew you guys would be an audience of forgiveness. So that's just another part of us being real and raw with you guys. But hey, we're looking forward to next week. Got a really cool topic we're going to bring, and I hope that it's influential to you guys. So next week, tune in. Make sure that you are ready to listen in, take notes, and maybe even share that next week's podcast with someone else. But hey, we're here. We're back. And you guys helped us get here. Just the feedback and the support already. I was looking at the analytics of the podcast. It is really cool to see the interaction of people that just jumped right back on board with us and picked up where we left off. But we are here. And starting next week, we are like back to the grind with our podcast and our investment in you guys. But love you so much. I appreciate you. Please share. Please follow us. Thank you for your support. And as always, until we meet again, stay true and stay wild.
You've been listening to W.I.L.D with JR. Join us next time for more insight and encouragement to help you live out your full leadership potential.